didn't work at all. So, hello YouTube. Hello energy. YouTube, how's it going? It's Multiplier here. Theme tune intro didn't really work, but we will run with it. Freestyling a vlog right about now. Basically, welcome to the studio. Over the last few weeks to months, I lose track of time. Time can be difficult. The passing of time. I've bought new things. Some of them a bit bigger, some of them a bit smaller. Some of them I've told you about at the ends of videos. Other things I have not told you about, but I will tell you about in this video. So lots of little updates, minor little things here and there, everywhere. And so yes, let me run you through the things, the various things. So even if you've seen all my videos all the way through to the very end, there will still be some things in this video you have not seen yet. So let's start off with the most, literally in a particular order. In fact, let's start with the particular order. The thing very most is closest to me. Look at that. This is an analog drum machine. It's called the Arturia. I'm just spin. It is called the Arturia Drum Brute, and it is rad. For projects forthcoming. So yes, this is an analog bit of hardware, musical gear thing. Makes drum noises, analog stylies, lots of fun. So yes, we'll use this as the starting point to run through all the new various bits and bobs and gizmos and gadgets and things and modifications I've made to the studio. So this is the drum machine. Fantastic. It is on a, I did a video on it. It is on, you can't even see it because it's such a good modification. Just more freestyling. You're upside down now, but that's okay. It is on a, what do you call it? A laptop stand to make it all angled. Whoa, look at that, upside down angle. Upside down angle on a laptop stand. Fantastic, love it, love it. Furthermore, messed up the words there. Furthermore, in addition, I have my headphones plugged in. I've had these for ages, the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros, but they now live permanently in this sort of casual way. Oh, it's just sort of casual on the desk there, plugged in, so I can listen to it. Now, here's where things get interesting. Either I can put these on my head, sound goes in through the ears, into the brain. I can either use these to listen to what this is doing, or I can route it using cables all the way to my computer. And there are currently two cables, but if I bought a bigger sound card, I could, or rearrange my sound card a bit, I could have more if I wanted to. The blue cable, the lovely blue cable. Do see my video on cables if you're unsure about cables. The blue cable is the main mix output. So the main output, think of it as the main output for this, the drum machine. This is a long cable run, but 8 meters, I had to measure it. Exactly 8 meters. So 8 meters cable run. Blue cable, bumped into the desk. Blue cable. Follow the blue cable, everybody. Follow the blue cable, everybody. Follow the chairs in the way. Keep following. I've no idea what's under there, or if you can see anything. Blue bumped into the keyboard. I'm putting through everything today. Crikey, wowzers trousers. Blue cable. This tripod is brilliant because I can just stand and use my arms now to blue cable, etc. times a million. Blue cable into the sound card, so I can route it into my computer via the sound card, which is fantastic. Allow me to record it, or just sort of listen to it. Or actually, I can do not even just that. I can run effects on it. I can record it, listen to it, run effects on it, and there's this other one too, which it is currently in the clap. I think it's in the clap, is it? Yeah, it's in the clap hole. So I've got another one, another wire, a cable, same run, from the clap, which allows me to basically have that recorded or routed separately into my computer. So what I could do is jam out and have just most of the drum machine, just doing drum machine vibes, but then I could have the clap, say, running through, which way do I want to spin? This way, wrong way. Effects. I could have the clap running through some effects, maybe a delay or a reverb or anything, literally anything, because it's a computer. So I could have the drum machine just doing its drum machine thing, and then the clap could be doing its own thing, processed in the computer, all happening simultaneously in a mega merge package of awesome. So that's That's what the other cable's for. Running again all the way around the room. I thought about running it directly across the middle of the room, but then I thought that's stupid, don't do that. So I ran it around the edge of the room. Love it. Furthermore, thoughts. There's the thing I need to show you here. So these are called deck savers. I have featured them in many a video now, and they are designed to save your decks. I mean, you can see I have them on everything. I have one down there, which is for the Ableton Push 2. Currently, I mean, that's just over there. I've taken it off so it's cool in videos. But it normally lives on there to protect it unless I need to press it. Obviously, as you can probably imagine, I mean, I don't need to demonstrate, but if there was a deck saver on here, you can't press anything. So what I do is I take them off when I want to use them. But yes, what was I? I'm rambling now. All right, so that's classic multiplier vlogs. So deck savers, I love them. You can see them everywhere. On the Push 1, on the Control S4, DJ controller. It's protecting it from a little keyboard, another Arturia thing, a mini lab. Anyway, this is the deck saver for the drum Brute. Now I'm going to put this down there because it's a two-handed operation. This, so it's I mean, sort of doesn't fit very well. This is I had to make a little modification. So the deck saver, which they sent, I mean, even if it's, I mean, I know it's at an angle. I'm not an idiot. I know it's at an angle. Angled, crikey. I know it's at an angle, but even when it's not at an angle, it just doesn't fit very well. It's more just sort of, if it's flat, it sort of just sits on top like, I'm on top, not doing much. So it's kind of useless flat, but at an angle, it just didn't even stay up at all because it was such a poor fit that it just slid straight off. Whereas, frustratingly, if I'd picked any of the other things to angle, the deck savers would have been fine because they fit well. So I thought maybe it'd fit well on the drum Brute. But for whatever reason, deck saver, you suck. Overpriced bit of plastic. But no one else makes one, so I have to use it anyway. Deck saver, it just doesn't really fit. So what I had to do to kind of make it work is have these. I don't know how well you can see them. I glued some little squishy things. There's one there as well. These are these like little rubber feet things. These are really cool. You can purchase these off the internet, off Amazon, etc. So these tiny little, I don't know how well you can see that, tiny little rubber feet thing. You just stick them on things, and you can make useful if you do it. Good sentences there, multiplier. You are a professional, right? So the idea being because it just didn't really fit. It still doesn't really fit very well, but this is a temporary, semi-temporary solution. It works if you don't touch it. That's what she said. If you don't touch it, it works all right. Not very well. You can see it still doesn't really work, but it works better than it did before because of these little rubber feet. So yeah, I'll make a cool little modification. Rad. That spin was horrible. Let's do that again. Rad. So yes, if you ever need to use rubber feet for things, you can. Good lifestyle knowledge advice there from Multiplier. More things. More cool little things I did. So remember in the last video, if you remember, you might not have watched it, or you may have watched it. If you will know if you've watched it or not. I had a USB emergency at the end of the. I'll stand here because of the light. I had a USB emergency, and I was like, oh, I need a USB cable. Look how quick that was. I mean, I'm just sometimes even quicker than that. I'm sometimes even quicker than that to get the USB cable. That is because of this guy here. If you've seen my studio, you will know that I'm a huge fan of these little rubbery things. You stick on things and they hold cables. So I thought, because I'm always reaching down to the floor to pick up this USB cable, tiny little guy for the DSLR, because I'm always reaching to the floor, I thought, that's ridiculous. I can't be always reaching to the floor. What am I, some sort of animal? No. Now I don't have to reach down to the floor. I can just, easy. Look how easy that was. That was so easy. I will literally save minutes every year because of that little modification. It brings me joy. Also, I stuck some more of these little guys around the place. These guys at the back, you can see. One for the power cable, two for the. These go into the DJ thing when that was here. Even though no, technically I shouldn't be using unbalanced cables. But get that. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, yes, that was for the DJ stuff. Also, I just like them. I put this one here. That's new as well. That's for the DJ controller as well. It's the power cable. So I think they're brilliant. Also, I use some more little rubber, the little rubber feet. See that down there? The rubber feet. There's one on the other side as well. That's to stop the broken USB hub. I hate USB hubs. Broken USB hub from sliding off the metal thing there. Not that it ever had done, but it got very close loads of times. So I thought, let's put some protection in there. Invisible. It's almost invisible, but protection. So I just love sticking little rubber things on things. It's brilliant. It's one of my favourite pastimes. Useless spin, number 10. That was it. Right. Next, I want to take that off. Yeah. Next. Oh yeah, you may have seen in some of the videos, I have this little guy now, the DSLR, the Nikon D3300, which is much more difficult to use than a GoPro. I'm still learning it. I'm getting better at it on a daily basis, but it gives me many more filming options, as well as a different look, a different vibe. I will do a full video on pros and cons of that later. That is a full 15-20 minute video to explain properly the pros and cons and the hows and the whys and all that sort of fun stuff. GoPro, which is what you're looking at through now, versus a DSLR. So yes, definitely more fiddly, more fun because it's more fiddly. You could argue there's more filming options, but yes, I will save that for another video. Yes, that is a new part of the studio. Also, my MIDI fighter lives there now. I do like it there. It's rad. How do I want to spin? How do I want to spin? How do I want to spin? You probably shaky cam. Lots of shaky cam today. But that's entirely okay. Chair. You can go over there. Just moving the chair into the middle of the room for this next little bit of time. So yes, the next 2 more things to show you. First of all, something very exciting. I have now got a shorter XLR cable connecting the microphone to the. Let me show you. Connect a string of words multiplier. You can do this. You can do this. Connecting my microphone, the Electro Voice RA20, to the Cloud Lifter mic preamp thing, inline thing on the floor. Basically a preamp for the mic, increases the gain, the level, in an analog vibe. You can see there's a cable connecting it. It's an XLR cable. Before, there was a very long XLR cable. And then I broke it. Remember from a video, I called that broken XLR cable and boom tubes or something. And I pointed at the boom tube, and then you can see this cut out there. Story for that video, in that video. Anyway, there was a long cable connecting the microphone to the preamp. I broke it, and I replaced it with another long cable. And then, but what I would keep doing is accidentally breaking it by walking on it by accident. Because what I have to do is to get around the back of the desk. I have to walk around to the back of the desk. I can't be expected to walk under the desk. I'm not a sort of lizard creature. So I walk around the side, sort of walking through here. I mean, you know how walking works. So I walk through. So I walk through to give you a sort of a play-by-play description video. So I sort of shimmy through here, except normally probably the other way around. Anyway, I go through the gap. Mind the gap, I go through the gap. Let me show you the dilemma. When there is a long cable there, it's really hard not to stand on it because you don't want to have cables sort of too bunched up with other cables. You have to have cables crossing at right angles and stuff in an ideal world. So it was just a bit fiddly. It was have you seen the movie The Matrix, or sort of James Bond or something, where there's like lasers and they're like ducking and diving under lasers, stepping really carefully. That's what it was like, stepping around here without stepping on the cable. And then occasionally I would accidentally stand on the cable, and then of course it breaks. So what I did is I bought a shorter one. So it's the exciting life and times of shorter XLR cables. That's why I bought it. Fantastic. Screensaver action, or a little penguin guy. That's my user ID on the computer, if you ever wondered, which I bet you have. And spin! Not spin. More... I think it's the final. I think it's the final thing. Is it the final thing? Two more things. I'll show you the most boring one. You may have seen the final one, but I'm going to show you a boring one because it is technically new, and it's quite boring. But this is a video update for mostly minor tweaks. So I'll throw some knowledge in there as well, just for the lulz. No, not for the lulz, for the knowledge. So I had to buy a new. I'll have to shimmy around here. Shimmy. Right. I had to buy a new to plug in my drum brute. That guy over there, the drum machine. I had to buy a new power extension cable. Wow, multiplier, exciting life and times, rockstar lifestyle. So, oh, you have to buy a plug extension multiplier. Wow, that's exciting. Why are you telling me on the internet, maniac? Well, I had to, so I'm actually going to throw you 2 bits of knowledge about it. First of all, surge protection. Always be protected against surges. So yes, that is knowledge tip number 1, but I'm going to give you a more useful knowledge tip after this, coming now. So, surge protection is tip number 1. Much more important, tipperoni, ground loops. Wow, hold the camera still, multiplier, lunatic. What you doing? What you doing, maniac? Right. Ground loops. Let me explain. I've waited. I've got a long way into the video before even giving much knowledge. Here is some knowledge. Ground loops. I'll maybe do a full-length video on this in detail, but there is a thing called a ground loop. If you plug in 2 bits of hardware into different power sockets, you can create a ground loop. Sometimes it's quite unpredictable, but basically you have to be careful when plugging in multiple different devices in the same recording chain. It could be a microphone preamp, such as the Fredenstein VAS. It could be me plugging the power cable in for that into the, and then this could be another thing in the same chain, power cable for that. To prevent ground loops, you want to ideally plug them into the same power extension socket thing. Don't kick the chair. Otherwise, you will get a bit of a ground loop, potentially. And then you get a bit of a ground hum, I think they're called. And you can remove it, but it's best not to have it in the first place. So ideally, I should have plugged, spin, professional filming. This is just more of a freestyle filming session. Just in, yeah, you figured that out. Yeah, you know that. Yeah, pretty obvious by now. So, yeah, obviously. So yes, ideally I should have plugged this into the same power socket as everything else in the train to prevent a ground hum. But I didn't need to, which was a lucky coincidence. I say lucky because I have created a ground loop hum before connecting all my microphone stuff, but I basically connected my preamp into a different power socket as the sound card and some other things and speakers and stuff. I forget the details, but anyway, I have created ground loops in here before, which I then had to fix by rearranging what was plugged into what power sockets. That's a ground hum. Actually, no, Google it if you're curious. If it's even remotely applicable to what you do, if you're plugging in multiple things into multiple things, Google ground hums, ground loop hums. I think Ask Audio did a pretty good article on it from memory. But yes, do check it out. It's an important bit of knowledge. You learn about it 5 minutes later, bingo, bango, bongo. You'll know what to do if the situation arises. Anyway, funny story. It wasn't even an issue for this one for whatever reason. This is plugged in over there, and everything else is plugged in over there. So maybe it should have caused a ground loop, but it didn't. So I have no idea how or why that didn't, but it didn't, and that's good. So lucky me. And finally, the final bit of new thing, saving an exciting thing till last. Hopefully before the battery runs out. So if this video cuts short, it's because the battery ran out. I bought a new tripod, which I am very excited about, which I'm going to show you some of the reasons why. I'll maybe do a full review once I've had 6 months to a year with it. That was very aggressive. Don't do that, you'll probably break it. But yes, look how big this gets. Look how sturdy it is. It's so sturdy. It's legs. Look at these. Look how tall it gets. What? This is a Magnus from something or other. I got it because the reviews are good, and Magnus, just like that super strong man, Magnus Magnuson, whatever his name is. So I thought maybe this would be super strong, like the strongest man in the world in that period of time. Look how tall it is. Whoa. It's a video tripod, so more stable, more heavy. That's good. I'm not exactly carrying it out of the studio. And it's got what's called a fluid head, I think, or a non-fluid head. I'm not an expert on tripods, but basically what makes it a video tripod is it's smooth. And then actually it moved a bit then. That's really a bad example. So you've got to be a bit careful. I mean, once there's weight on the head, and if you're careful, I mean, it's much better, obviously, but it's smooth. You can do smooth pans and tilts. And it's just all round more sturdy than a photographer ball head tripod thing. Because most tripods, because if you're a photographer, you might want a lightweight tripod to carry it around. Obviously for filming, you don't. So yes, this is it's got loads of cool little features, like a little level thing in here. When you can and then that wasn't very smooth, but normally I can do it much smoothly one-handed. So yes, it's just a fantastic tripod for filming. Nice. So yes, and look how tall it is. Oh, I love that. So yes, new toys, etc. And before the battery runs out, what I'm going to do is conclude this video. A bit of a wacky video, studio vlog featuring Multiplier, freestyling it, one take, apart from all the edits, but one take, just the cuts. My name has been Multiplier, and I will catch you guys on the... No idea. On the... What am I doing? Yeah, well, I'm stuck under here. What am I going to get? On the flippity flip. Oh.